Show. Hello, everybody. I am SunPsychic Jean, and please welcome my very special co-host, Stacey from Sacred Key Codes. Hi, Stacey.
Hi, Jean. Hi, everybody. So great to be here today.
It's going to be lots of fun, and we're going to be working with our crystals today. I hope everybody brought their crystals with them and they brought a pen and paper. If not, you can just replay this video and watch it again. But we have a wonderful show in store for everybody, and I have Stacey to thank for it. She has such amazing artistic ability to put together these slides and this information for us, and I really love it. And it was a beautiful refresher. I did take a crystal healing course early in my career, but this is very, very much in depth. So thank you. Where did you learn so much about crystals, Stacey?
For me, it was just exploring them by myself. So, when you get into the metaphysical stuff and then you get attracted to the shiny, pretty rocks and you want to get all of them and you just love their energy. And so it kind of started off, just collecting crystals because they were pretty. And then when I started working with the records and stuff, I learned that you can actually go into the crystals Akashic Records. And then that kind of started me down the road of like, well, these things are magical. They can do so many things. And they literally have a crystal for everything. So everything you can ever think of, there's a crystal for it. And they are powerful healers, and it's just amazing the depth that they have to them, and also just being in their energy. It's so inviting, and each crystal has like their unique personality. So it's been just something that I have explored and looked into by myself. And yeah, so I'm not a crystal expert or a crystal healer. It's just from my own experience.
Well, I think that's wonderful. I think that's really beautiful. And I actually came into this organically. And I did learn about some crystals during my Reiki training. And then before I took my crystal course, I found, I don't know if it was this exact one, but I found an obelisk. This is my
Mm.
labradorite. And this was in, I don't know, like it wasn't Old Navy, it wasn't Abercrombie and Finch, it was like one of
Home
those,
goods.
what was it?
Home goods.
It was not in Home Goods, it was one of those little, like, boutique kind of clothing on one side and,
Mm.
you know, had a little bit of everything, and this was just on a shelf by itself, and it was, we were standing at the register, and we were waiting for the woman to do something, and I was kind of just moseying around looking, and this thing caught my eye, I had to buy it, and it has not stopped, providing me with information, with healing, with comfort, with joy, with discovery, with just endless possibilities. And Labradorite is one of the favorites for a lot of healers and psychics and mediums for sure. But
Mhm.
I have so many different specimens that start small. I have a lot of, and then it starts big, and I have a very, very big one. It's not right here for me, but it's very large. It's like 6 or 7 inches tall, and the Labradorite. But this one I used to sleep with, and I bought it because it had such smooth curves, and I would put it on the outside of the bed covers, and sleep with it because I needed that much healing. It really is one of my best friends, and I have so many stories about how crystals saved my life. And then I thought, I've got to learn more about this. So I signed up for an online class that taught us about crystals, taught us how to work with crystals, program crystals, and just endless information about crystals. And I've just been hooked ever since. I have them all around me all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I love the energy that they bring out. And I love that you love labradorite so much because it is a very ancient stone. It's like over 1 billion years old. So it's been around for a very long time. And especially doing, psychic work and connecting, it's really good for protection as well as expansion. So you can really get up into those higher realms and that safe, comforting energy. And it's such an elevator, so healing, very versatile. That's what I like about labradorite. Like, you can use it for so many different things.
Absolutely. And I had a sister who, um, I'm trying to think of it, how much I can say. She had a customer that was sort of, difficult. And so my sister was sort of like really affected by this and trying to help this customer of hers. And I said, here, take this labradorite and put it in your pocket, because I happened to be at her place of business. And she went and was working with her customer, and she comes back and she walks into my room. She goes, what did you just do? I said, what? She goes, the customer is still a pain in my butt, but I feel better. I feel like I'm like not overwhelmed by it. Like I feel like I'm clear and I could deal with it. And I said, that's the labradorite. It takes away that severity, that strain, that there's just something about it. And then the other time that I used my labradorite, and I always have like all different sizes in my purse. I have the long ones, I have the round ones, I have all different sizes and shapes. And I gave them, we were at a funeral, and it was my sister-in-law lost her mother. This was maybe 10 years ago. And I handed it to her because she was like, like she was crying, but she couldn't catch her, she was just overwhelmed with grief, and she knew she had to continue and talk to people. And I said, here, just hold this, put this in your bra. And she came back to me. She goes, instantly, I just felt like a calmness over her. And it's really good for helping to absorb that like intensity of our emotions.
Yeah, I agree. And that's so beautiful. I love how you give them out to people, because they often have that saying, like, we are the crystal's feet. So, having that ability to move them around and bring them to other people when they need the healing, it's like you're doing what the crystal is asking you to do, and you're in that beautiful communication with it. So that's awesome.
Wow, I didn't know the crystal was asking me to do it. That's lovely. How
Yeah.
interesting is that? Wow. I have 1,000 more stories like that, but they're just some of my top ones that are right at the top of my head right now. I just want to say hello to everybody that's here. I see Annie Bear and Diane G. I see Tristan is here, and Polly. I see Lori Hunsinger. I see Melinda Rogers. And everybody is here. Let me see if I'm missing. Sean G is here. Hi, Sean. And Coco Tin Papier is here, and Joyful Journey is here, and Teresa Hadarian is here. And that Coco name was my attempt at French.
Oh. Great job.
This is their name, but it's Coco Tin Papier, I believe is how you say it in French. I don't
That's
know.
a beautiful name. I'm not going to try to say it either.
No.
Hi, everyone.
I'll have to look it up and have Google pronounce it for me. Yeah, and Anne is here. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We have such an amazing presentation in store for you, and it's quite in depth. So what we're going to do is we're going to move along with the information. And I think that once we, let me just do a little refresh right here. Once we go through the information, we can come back. We can come back and answer questions, just a few, and then we're gonna, well, maybe we'll stop at a certain point before we do the meditation. But at the end of the presentation, we're going to do a crystal meditation, which is something that you don't want to miss. And Stacey is just amazing at doing these meditations.
Thank you.
So I'm going to just click on this and make sure we're okay on this side. Okay, so I had to fix that one little thing. So was there anything else that we wanted to notify everybody about before we get started?
That's about it. I would say just, kind of open your mind, and we're just going to give you an introduction on how to heal with crystals, because like, as I was making the slides, I went a little too in depth. So we are probably not going to be able to cover everything today, but we'll definitely give you that foundation so that you can begin your journey with healing with crystals. We'll teach you how to choose the right crystal for you, as well as to activate your crystals, because something that's really that I find important now that I know is actually using your crystals intentionally, because they also feed off your vibration, your energy, and you have the ability to activate them. And so it's kind of like, the difference between having a computer sitting there and then having a computer that the login to. So really being able to program that computer and set your intentions into it is what's going to really help you get the most benefit of it, because then you become conscious of that energy. And as you become conscious, you begin to see it work for you. And then that begins to amplify the energy. And then it just creates this beautiful amplification. And so that's what we're going to do.
A lifelong love affair with the Crystal Nation for sure, and it's very grounding, and it's part of Gaia. It's part of the Earth. It's just there's just so much. Hopefully we'll meet your expectations, and I'm sure that it'll exceed. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to try a different view. I'm going to try this view and see if that works a little bit. That's you can see more. And okay, so this introductory show that we're going to be presenting today is Healing with Crystals. And again, I just want to thank Stacey for her beautiful artwork. This is her creation, and just really stunning graphics there. So did you want to start, Stacey, and then we'll tag team?
Yeah. So today we are going to learn how to work with crystals to promote healing on all levels, because as you explore healing, you'll find out that not everything's about the physical body. And a lot of the times they happen on the energetic level. And so if you can get to the energetic influences before they come into the body, it's going to be really powerful. So you can kind of explore healing on the physical level, the emotional level, the mental level, and the spiritual level. And they all work together. So if you learn how to do it with one thing, you can learn how to do it with all the other things.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you. And right behind our pictures here, it says, please know that this is not a medical advice by any means, and you should always consult with a medical professional.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't think, maybe I'll move it over here because it does cut off. It says, what is a crystal? What is crystal healing? In essence, crystal healing is a type of energy healing. Crystals help to provide higher vibrational frequency that is pure and stable, so that you can realign your body energy field and dis-ease back into a state of harmony. And I'm letting you know that these crystals have a natural balance and a natural vibration. And this is what allows us to attune our body and blend our frequency and our vibration to this crystal's vibration. And it's so very subtle, so very gentle, and it works in mysterious ways. It's just so lovely. Crystals are not solid, and therefore their energy can permeate on a very deep level and shift whatever needs to be shifted at that root level. This is the intelligence of the crystal, that it knows how much or how little of the vibration that is needed in order to balance the body that it's next to. And you can also use it in plants too, right? Oh my gosh, you guys, put it, and we'll have to find out which ones can go in water as well. They can also heighten our own awareness and vibration to make the unseen seen. So if all of you light workers out there, psychics, mediums, are looking for assistance in developing your abilities, work with crystals. It's beautiful. We matching our own awareness and vibration to make this unseen seen, and so we may begin to take action that is in alignment with our higher energy. And this is self-healing. This is self-information. This will help you to enhance if you are an accountant and you work at an office and you work at a computer and you have, employees to deal with. The crystals are so many different ways that you can use crystals, and that can be helpful to each and every one of you. All right.
Yeah. And I loved what you said about its structure, because that's something that's really powerful about crystals, is because they hold their organic structure, and it doesn't really, like our energy and frequency can be like all over the place. But because of the way that the crystalline structure is built and the geometries behind it, it can really continue to stabilize that energy for us so that we can do what we need to do. And I also think it's important to about making that unseen seen, because sometimes when we need healing, it's because we need to change something. And so even if we get the healing and we don't make the change, it can come back. Those we need the signals so that we know what's out of alignment, and then the crystals can help us come back into alignment and stabilize that frequency so that we can continue to move through these shifts and changes and step into that higher level. So
That's beautiful. And yeah, I'll there's somebody asked, let me just bring it up so I don't forget. Somebody asked when Stacey and Daphne and I were doing Ask Your Questions, and they were talking about ascension symptoms. And I said that sometimes with ascension symptoms, it's when everybody says they're fatigued or that they're, wiped out. And it's because we are, it may have to do with our resistance to aligning our vibration to the new level of frequency. And once we release that resistance and move into allowing the frequency to begin to align with that frequency, the resistance is reduced and the fatigue is reduced because we're not fighting against that frequency. And I think that actually crystals are a beautiful way to help us do that as well.
yeah, I agree with you. And I also think, we have to remember that we're changing on a molecular structure too, and that we have that crystal within us. We are mostly water, right? And water is crystal. Water is a conductor of that energy. So it's kind of like, when you have a really bad tough workout, um, your body is learning to adapt to be able to perform with that extra energy, to be able to ground and stabilize it. So it's something that is going to keep happening so that you can begin to hold that higher energy and frequency. Because like I've experienced things and meditation and stuff where I felt the high energy come in, and sometimes it can be painful. Like just because it's high frequency, it's just that much more intense. So we just have to be gentle with ourselves, and like you said, just go with the flow. Don't resist it, and also, don't try to do too much with it, because sometimes it's just like you're just needing to allow it. You're just needing to allow it to pass through you, and you're learning to work with those energies and up level your body, and that's sometimes all it is.
Wow. Interesting. So fascinating, you guys. Okay, so what do we have next? Do you want to do this one?
Yeah, so selecting the right crystal for you is very useful at times, and I think it can also be surprising, because sometimes we think we need a crystal for one thing, but it can also be connected to other things. So like, for example, I've been doing a lot of work with my throat chakra, and I continue to. But I also found that it wasn't like rooted in my throat chakra, because like it kind of took my friend telling me, it's like, you have no problem talking. It's like, you can talk forever. You have zero problem talking. And then I began to, well, what is it then? And it was connected to my lower chakras, and especially the solar plexus, and having that that assertiveness, and being seen and being very upfront, and that self-esteem and confidence was what was really at the core of it. And so finding, even those things that complement or that have another layer deep to what the actual problem is can be very enlightening. And so when you're looking for your crystal, the easiest way to do it is to just be intuitive with it. So you can just go into a crystal shop is the way that I recommend it, because when you're in person, you can really feel the energy. You can touch it, you can pick it up, you can feel it, you can see how your body responds to it. And you get to choose out, the right shape, and you can do all the other things. So for this, I say just go with your gut instinct. If you're drawn to a certain crystal or a certain color, there's usually a reason for it. There's a reason why you want to pick that crystal up. And oftentimes it's because you need that energy. So that's the easiest way to do it. And you can also hold the crystal and just ask, can you help me with whatever it is that you need help with? And just feel the energy of the crystal. See if it comes into your body. See if it moves into that area. See if it elevates your energy, or, like Jean was saying earlier, removes that emotional charge, and see if it works with you. And then do you want to say the second one? You're the pendulum master. Oh, that's awesome.
Well, you can hold the pendulum over top of your crystals and ask the questions that you need to ask, whether it's the right one, whether it's ready, whether it's tired, whether it needs, recharging. You can use your pendulum to really guide you through getting to know your crystals. And it's the same with your pendulum. Now, I happen to use a brass pendulum because I like the heavy quality, but a lot of pendulums, and I do have a pendulum that is a crystal. And it's important for you I pick up all the crystal pendulums that I use, and I ask it, would you want to come home and work with me? And the way that when I was in the store with my husband, and I don't know, it wasn't an Old Navy, but it was something like that. It was a little store. And I walked over it was like a clothing store. They didn't have crystals, but they had a few of these on a shelf. And I was drawn to this, and I've never, bought a crystal before. So it was calling to me. It was something that I couldn't not buy. And it was something that I had to learn about after I bought it. But being there in the store sometimes can get a little overwhelming, but just go with what your eye is attracting you to, and get to know the few basic ones in the beginning, and then you can elaborate and venture outward. I have some beautiful pieces. We need to do a whole nother one on the crystal jewelry that we have, like a show and tell.
Yeah.
But your pendulum can be a huge a tool that would really help you to get to know your crystals. And I see the photo that you have there, the graphic, and it shows the crystals that are in the natural form, the natural state. And Stacey, would you be able to tell us if there's any difference in the energy or the frequency or the quality of the crystal if they're in their natural state?
I personally love the crystals in their natural state, just because I like the pure beauty of them. And I also see that they carry more of that crystalline structure, because it's like if you take a piece of pyrite, for example, you can see, its cubic cubic structure, and you can see how rigid, how grounded, how perfect it is. And I feel like it does, but it also doesn't have to, because I think with the right intention with any of your crystals, you'll be able to tune into that inner structure within the crystal, and it still holds that same geometric pattern, and it still holds those same frequencies. And same with crystal size. You don't need the biggest crystal, but they're really nice. So it's just preference, I think. And especially if you're carrying crystals, in your pocket or your bra, it might be easier to have a smooth tumbled stone, and especially when you're carrying them from transporting. So having both, I think, is a great thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
My Reiki teacher had these giant crystals underneath of the Reiki table, and I've always wanted, and he's like, this little crystal has the same amount of energy as that crystal underneath. And, so I used to put my little crystals underneath my Reiki table.
Yeah. And I think part of that too is, the belief. It's like, because you can, just like we have an aura, you can see your crystal's aura, your crystal's energy field expand, and you can use your intention and your energy to expand that field of the crystal's energy beyond the little space. So if you just do that and you focus on it, you can fill your whole room, you can fill your whole house. And I think, and especially when you get into crystal grids, because you can create little vortexes and stuff to amplify that energy and expand it out. So I think it's a lot of fun and something to experiment with for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just so exciting, you
Yeah.
guys. I just love it. All right. So, how to clear your crystals? Grounding with natural salt, natural sea salt. Some crystals can go in water. Some you could, well, all of them I think you can put in moonlight, but it's important to know, they say like not during the lunar eclipse coming up. You don't want to put your crystals out because it's too much energy competing with that. In the
Mm.
sunlight, some crystals, yes, some crystals, no. I have a natural geode of amethyst that is very, it's faded because I have it in the sun too long. So sometimes sunlight is not the best for all crystals. Smudging and using the Palo Santo or the sage and just smudging your crystals is a good way of clearing. Sound, you can use your tuning forks or your singing bowls, or I have this little Tibetan bell. It doesn't, it's all about intention. And selenite, do you want to tell them a little bit more about selenite? Because that is a stone. And how do we clear with selenite?
Yeah, so selenite is one of those crystals that are also cleansing, and they'll clear your other crystals because they hold such a high vibration. And you can use selenite in a lot of ways. You can get a selenite charging plate. So they also charge your crystals, and you can put them on there and just set them there with the intention to clear them. You can also use a selenite wand, and you can charge the energy or expel the energy. So if you go counterclockwise, you're pulling the energy out. And then if you go clockwise, you're adding that energy in. So that's another great way to do it. And also, I find some people say that selenite doesn't need to be cleared, and some people do. So I just set mine on the ground outside just to discharge some of that energy and expand it out. And I find it a very useful tool. And I think there's other stones, like I want to say kyanite is also one that cleanses crystals. And there's a few more. I'm not sure if you know of any of them, but I really love it. I love its purity and its energy. And I think that's why it is so good for clearing, is because it is such a high frequency. And what you were saying with the eclipse and putting your crystals in the moon, I heard an astrologer say it's because eclipses are more of a faded energy. They're unpredictable. So even if you set an intention during an eclipse or whatever, you don't know what you're going to get because it's more of that universal faded energy. So I thought that was interesting just because we have one coming up.
Yeah, coming up it is. And but ordinarily the moonlight would be wonderful to put your crystals out. And one time there was a full moon in my sun sign, and I ran around the house like crazy because I was in during my crystal healing class, and ran around and got every crystal I could think of. And they need to be in a natural container. You can't put them in like a plastic bowl, or a plastic tray. You have to have like a natural organic. So I found all the baskets I could find, and wooden containers, wooden bowls and stuff to try and put them out because I had so many little ones. But yeah, it was lots of fun. And I really enjoyed doing that. Now, selenite is one of those that you don't want to put in water because it's water soluble. And you want to be really careful about that. And so it's some stones are softer, and I don't know what is that that measurement, the hardness or the softness of the stone. What is that called? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I thought it was
Yeah.
just hardness. But
It,
usually you can tell, like especially with selenite, like if you rub it or be rough with it, it'll flake. So I
yeah.
think it's really easy to tell. It's and like you can tell with, I would compare it to your clear quartz. So it's like if it's got that hard structure like your clear quartz and it's very sturdy, then you know that that's probably good to go in water. And then if not, probably don't.
Right, right. Very good. All right, so let's move on here. We're doing well. Setting intentions and activating your crystals. We did touch on this just a little bit. So, one of the ways that we can do this is hold the crystal in your hands, and you can close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Clearly state your intention out loud while you feel it in your heart and body. It's best to set it in the present tense. So I would ask my crystals to assist me in this mediumship reading and connecting to my clients' loved ones and today. And what I usually say is thank you for helping me. Thank you for your assistance. Thank you for being here and holding space for a while, for assisting me in this process. Then visualize your intention being absorbed into the crystal and reprogramming it to be in alignment with what you need most. So, and you can do these steps as detailed. You can go through the motions, and as you start becoming more comfortable with it, you can get more in depth and more specific as you go along. And then we want to breathe into the crystal. And the breath is such a powerful, we should do another show on breathing, by the way. The breath is so very powerful. It is like one of the magic secrets of the universe. It is really just beautiful. So breathe into the crystal and imagine it lightening up or turning on. And it's all with intention. Sit with this for a few moments as you connect deeper into its energy. Ask how to best use the crystal or if you need to do anything with it. And, with me using these on a regular basis, I used to have two crystals. Now I start using, this is a smoky quartz that I use. So I have one for the denser energies and one for the lighter energies. But I switch on and off during my practice, just as I feel guided. But it's just as simple as that, just setting your intention. But your determination, your focus, your reverence, your command, your um, confidence and belief is really important with activating your crystals. And it's so very fundamental and organic. And, I mean, I think humanity has been doing this forever.
Yeah, and one thing that I like about this process, or one thing that I like to do with this process, is to use your imagination. And so even if you're not visual, you just pretend you are, because once you begin to observe your crystal, observe it, absorbing that intention, observe it lighting up, it really begins to help your mind, your subconscious believe that, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's really happening and what's not. So if you observe it with your conscious mind, your subconscious is taking that in as it's really happening. And if you get into quantum physics and stuff and the whole observer effect, if you observe it happening, then it happened. And I think this is really important too when it comes to healing, because we have to get out of that energy and that frequency that is attached to the densified thing that needs to be healed and come into a new state of consciousness, a new frequency, a new awareness where we can observe that as already being healed. So it all works together. And I think it's a powerful tool to use your imagination to begin to observe things. Even if it feels silly at first, you know, you'll start to believe it eventually.
It's really beautiful. And I was it's really wonderful. And I think that it's important sometimes we're doing an introduction to the process. And I think that if in the future we decide to make this into a classroom, we can have the practice and have everybody practice and do it live together. And if you have any questions or, you know, I think that that would be really important. So here we are to our healing meditation. So let's just see if I'll take that down a moment. So Denise says it's nice when the stones haven't been stumbled, she said, and feel that they're easier to cleanse and reprogram for her. And to where she prefers the tumbled ones, the softer ones. Yeah, they're a little easier. Oh, it's a Mohs scale. Thank you, Melinda.
Oh,
It's
I didn't know that.
the scale of hardness is the Mohs scale. Yep, very nice, very nice. And Lori says she prefers the natural ones too. Now, I myself, I don't know. I love the fine specimens. I don't know how to, I don't, I do like the shiny ones. I like the polished ones. Now they can be natural, but if they're polished, like this one isn't, it's still in a natural form, but it's so polished and so beautiful. Now I do have a natural labradorite that is sort of like dull and you can't see any of its fire. Like, I don't know if you can see like that little rainbow in there. Like the one that I have that's not polished, it's wonderful, but it's just not as appealing to me. I do like the polished one. It can be in a natural form, but
Yeah. Well,
mhm.
I think, you know, with tumbled stones, they kind of maybe aren't treated the best, you know, so it may just take a little bit more clearing because, you know, oftentimes they're just thrown in with a batch of a lot of other crystals and then they're, you know,
Oh,
around and round. But like if you have a bigger specimen, those are usually hand polished. You know,
yeah.
they're treated with more care. And so I think, you know, if you're using a tumbled stone and you feel the energy is off, maybe it just needs more clearing. So just I would recommend doing more clearing on it and then seeing if that helps with it.
Yeah. And Diane says the structures are more visible when the crystals are raw, and that's what she likes. She likes to see that.
Yeah, me too.
It's very appealing to the eye, and it's healing to the eye as well.
Yeah.
Um,
It's also really cool because you can see the different geometric structures. Like some of them are very cubic, some of them are like octahedrons. Like they're all different shapes. So it's really cool.
and Amanda says strongly drawn to aura quartz, and I think that that is like a treated type of quartz. If
Yeah,
I,
I want
mhm.
to say it's coated with titanium. And I was going to ask you what you think about that because I know some people, but that's also what a lot of singing bowls are coated with, the ones that are all shiny and iridescent and sparkly. But I think it's a natural mineral. So some of them are color treated, though, like some crystals that you buy in the store that are those strange colors. So I think it's preference.
I think there's a quality about it. If it's done well in a high quality process, then it's beautiful. And I've seen some really crappy application of the aura on the natural stone, and it just you can just feel the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So Amanda also said I went to get a small black tourmaline, and I don't know. My eyes were strongly. I don't know what she's saying. I think that was just a
A
typo.
small black
Oh,
tourmaline. I have no idea.
Sorry, Amanda. Usually we can tell by the letters that you're attempting to. So Diane G says, does the size or shape of the crystal affect their healing properties? We did touch on this a little bit, but if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, it goes back to the intention and the belief. And of course, having that, like if you were to meet a crystal in the earth and you were like in a crystal cave with all these beautiful natural crystals, I think you're going to really definitely feel the difference. But I think the biggest one is how their mind, how they're collected, how they are treated. But even so, that's why we do the clearing work with the crystals and why we activate it with our intentions. So we can take any energy that has been out of balance with the crystal and bring it back into alignment and then bring it into harmony with us. And so a great thing to do is, ask your crystal, ask your crystal if it's in the right alignment with you and if it's going to provide you with that healing that you need. And that's going to be the easiest way to do it. And we didn't mention this earlier, but it was on the slide. You can muscle test. So you can just hold the crystal or you just ask the crystal. And if your body leans into it, it's usually yes. And then if it leans back, it's usually no. And that's a really easy way to do it too, if you don't want to play with the pendulum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Diane G. And no, Amanda, that's okay. She doesn't, you don't have to remove that. We were just trying to see if we could read through it. She said she loves the idea of charging the selenite in the ground. And can you get like a natural substance, like the way I was trying to run around the house and get baskets and wood bowls to try and put, can you?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think you can. And, this, why I like to use the earth is because it's a lot bigger, right? It's a lot easier to, like, if you're clearing energy, it's like a little tiny speck for the earth. But when you're putting it into natural materials like wood or baskets or stuff, those are also holding energy because just like we hold energy. And if you, I don't know if you like psychometry where you feel objects and they hold that imprint of everything, you could be clothing, jewelry. I think all things do that. So I think it's great. And if you feel, and especially since it's your crystals, your energy, I think it's totally fine. Just
like if you're in a high-rise apartment or something. What about, I know that in our part 2, we're going to get into this, but what about if you would put it in the dirt of some of your plants? If you have a plant that you put it in the dirt.
Yeah, I think that would be really beneficial. And I also think it would help your plants. I think they would have a beautiful energy because if you just think about the harmony with plants and people, it's like they take in what we expel, but then it's like back and forth. It's an exchange. And so it's like they're healing and cleansing each other, right? So they're supporting each other. And I think if it's in alignment with that plant and that crystal, it would be really good to do.
I think on some level, on some vibration and frequency, plants are very similar to the crystals in the way that they're healing, in the way that they interact with us, in the way that we love having them in our home with us and bringing the outdoors in and having the grounding, the groundedness around us. A lot of my color themes are nature inspired, and you can't see that I have this wall in front of me. I have big plants and butterflies and just different. And when I was designing or decorating the home, I wanted to mimic what I saw outside, like the color of my granite, or it's not granite, it's quartz on my countertops and the natural wood cabinets. And I really, and my handles were natural, and they had like a leaf motif. Like I wanted to mimic and bring in as much of nature inspired materials or likenesses as possible, because I wanted that calm and serene surrounding. Now I know why, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I really love that. And when you brought that up, like the visual I got, it's like, where do the plants come from? They come from the mineral kingdom. They come from the crystal kingdom, right? And it's just like, if you've ever heard of that concept of the 7 planes of existence. So the way that I've heard it structured is like every mineral has can heal everything above it. So like any element, anything, every plant can heal everything. And then on the physical level, and it keeps going up and up and up. And so it's really interesting to see how they all work together. And so since the plants are fed on by the minerals, of course they're going to hold those same energies and properties and give you what you need.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's so that it's yeah. So let's go ahead and are you ready to do the meditation, Stacey?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. I think it's time. And how long would you say this meditation might be just for everybody in the
I don't think it'll be more than 10 minutes. I did my best to make it short. So
Okay,
we can
and
get in.
everybody just get into a relaxed position, and you can either keep your eyes open or close your eyes, and just make sure you're relaxed and focused, and there's not any distractions around you in order to get the most benefit. Yeah, so
Yeah.
look forward to this. Everybody, enjoy.
All right. So, as Jean said, please find a comfortable position. Gently close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in. Feel your body expand. And as you exhale, allow your body to fully come into this moment. Take another deep breath all the way in and all the way out, letting your body soften. And as you continue to breathe at a slow, rhythmic pace, allow your body to fully anchor into this moment. As you use your imagination, see, sense, or feel the muscles in your body loosen with each breath and allow you to sink deep into the earth below you. Imagine yourself moving deep into the heart of Mother Earth and into her crystalline core. There you sit upon a warm, smooth surface of smoky quartz, sparkling with clarity and swirling with wisps of dark browns and blacks. Now see, sense, feel, or imagine a smoky black energy moving up the base of your spine and throughout your body. As the smoky quartz moves up and through your body, it absorbs all of the lower vibrational energies, pulling out any stagnant energies, blockages, pains, or discomforts, and transforming them into black, smoky clouds that are gently lifted up and out of your body. Now allow the smoky quartz to inform you of anything that you need to release, letting go of any heaviness or resistance you may be needing to redress to fully receive this healing. Just allow the insights to drop in. Now visualize a brilliant crystalline amethyst above the crown of your head. See its violet light transforming all the dark, dense energy into healing light. As you do, see, sense, feel, or imagine this amethyst light descending down through your body, transmuting and transforming any and all remaining negative or lower energies that are no longer serving you. Feel the amethyst's soothing energy bringing peace and clarity to your mind, body, and spirit. Sense the awareness, expansion, and elevation it brings you as this light seeds into your consciousness the insights and guidance you need to integrate this healing. Allow these insights to simply drop in unjudged. Finally, imagine a sparkling, pearlescent, apophyllite crystal shimmering like snow, beginning to move in, through, and around your entire body. Feel the sparkling energy filling the cleansed spaces with pure crystalline light and connecting you with the energies of the highest light and purest intent here to guide and protect you. Feel this crystal's energy creating a shield of light around you, helping you to sustain this healing and keep you in its high vibration. Take a few deep breaths all the way in and all the way out as you anchor back into your physical body, feeling grounded, protected, and revitalized. When you are ready, gently wiggle your hands and your toes, lightly stretch your body, and gently open your eyes, knowing that this energy will continue to be with you throughout the day.
It was really beautiful, Stacey. Thank you so very much. It was really very beautiful. And this type of a crystal healing meditation we can listen to again and again. And remember that on many different planes, the healing is working. And not only in our physical, it's also emotional. It is also vibrational. It is also just the density around us in our frequency that's around us and the influence in our community, and like the neighborhood or your workplace, or whatever, that it amplifies out. It's more than just here with our physical body. It also amplifies out. It was really very beautiful, and I love the what was the last pearl? What was the name of that last crystal?
Apophyllite, I think that's how you say it. it's
Apophyllite.
it's that. Well, sometimes they're green, but they have all those clusters, and to me, some of them look like snow. Some of them have those really layered geometries, and they're that beautiful, sparkly white one. They're really connected to that, that higher source, your guides, your higher self, and so I really like using that because I like the energy and the purity of it. So
Yeah. Yeah, that was really very good. I love the way you started with the smoky quartz and then moved upward. And I felt like certain areas in my body sort of make themselves noticed, like,
mm-hmm.
oh, remember this spot and remember this spot, and different things will come up as you're going through this. And I yeah, I think I'll save the rest for later. But thank you, Stacey. And I'm just going to remove this here. And it's we have it. Stacey has much more, and we'd like to come back and do this again. We might talk about doing a little private class or a private Zoom together. But let us know if you're interested in something like this. And yeah, there's just so much to learn. And let us know in the comments below if you have any crystals or stones that you like and which ones you like the best. And yeah, it's endless. There are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of different types of crystals out there and
Mm-hmm.
stones. And I do know Juno from Junosphere is also one of our community members, and she's extremely well versed in stones and crystals, and talks a lot about this. But it's one of my loves as well. And Stacey and I had talked a little bit about our experience. Hers was in a meditation, and mine was in a past life regression, where I was a little sea creature. And I was a little sea creature that lived sort of like in a flower, like the flower was here, and I lived inside the flower. And the guide asked to look around and to tell them about my environment. And I saw these little like things beaming and sort of, you know, glowing and glowing in and out. And they said, what is it? And I said, they look like crystals. And the guide said, what are the crystals used for? And I said, they're my pets. I love them and they love me, and I love to play with them and they love to play with me. And the guide said, well, is there any other reason do they have any other purpose? And I said, yes, they notify me when there's danger around. So these crystals were my protector and my friend and healer, So I don't know how we got from one point to the next, but we said, let's ask them to take us back to where they are from. Ask the crystals if they can take us back to where they're from. So remember, I'm under the water. I'm this little sea creature. And so we go up to the surface of the water, and all I see is this little cave above the water and off into the distance. So I go over to the entrance of the cave, and I see all of these crystals like beaming in and out, and they're all over the cave as far as you can see. And the colors are just so vibrant and so magnificent. They're indescribable. And when I went into the crystal cave or swam, I was still in the water. They were all like, she's here, she's here. And the love and the healing and the overwhelming like reception that I felt when I swam into there. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And I know that this is real because Stacey, unbeknownst to me, I was telling this story, and you too have your story that was very similar, independent of one another. So we feel like we've visited a similar realm, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more to uncover with crystals, especially moving into past lives and, different dimensions and stuff, because I felt like they used to be an integrated part of our lives, and now they're kind of something that's coming back into our lives, and we're just barely scratching the surface of their technology and what they can really do and be used for. And I've been thinking about doing some guided journeys, actually journeying into the crystals, like as those portals, as those realms, because I've done some in my own time, especially after those experiences. And it's so amazing to see what you can uncover and like how much the crystal has to give, how much knowledge, how much wisdom, how much healing. It's like stepping into another world, and each crystal has its own little world that it connects you with, its own energy. And so it's something super fascinating, and who knows, maybe we'll do something else with that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us here are familiar with the story of Lemuria and the crystal. I guess the crystal city of Lemuria, or the crystal
I thought, was it Crystal
world.
City of Atlantis? I thought
Was it?
Atlantis.
Is that? I thought Lemuria was also built out of crystals. I don't know. I'll check my book and get back to y'all. But Atlantis, I do know that the crystals had the history there and began and had a whole community built around them. But yeah, there's more and more, and this is just the tip of the crystal, not the iceberg. But I just want to thank Stacey for her work, her expertise, her beautiful meditation ability and delivery, and just her gracious generosity, and for sharing all of her wisdom with us today. Thank you very much, Stacey. It's a pleasure doing a show together with you. And I just want to thank everybody here that is watching now and maybe watching later. We appreciate all of your energy being here. And please do let us know below what you'd like to see. If you'd like to do a private class where we have practices, or if you would like to have another show where we go into the next step. So I look forward to seeing you all really soon. And thanks again, everybody, for being here. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy this content, hit like, share, and subscribe. Remember to click the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks again. Bye.